the Pope will have a receptive audience. What began as a fight for a few Arizona tribes has turned into a global movement to protect lands sacred to these tribes and Mother Nature. There's a pillar that commemorates those who fought from all 50 states and American territories. It's not often a meeting at the Justice Department begins with a traditional tribal song. The Pope will meet with President Barack Obama tomorrow at the White House and address Congress on Thursday. Representative Grijalva announced yesterday that Senator Bernie Sanders from Vermont will introduce a companion bill in the Senate. When the rain finally died down and the dust settled, the Capitol Police won 14-6. Now, any of the 566 federally recognized tribes can prosecute non-Indians for crimes against Native women. Representative Gosar is a Catholic himself and said it was a tough decision, but Gosar said that he's ashamed of the Pope's position on what Gosar sees as the false science of climate change and for a failure to speak out against radical Islam and Planned Parenthood. Gosar appears to be the only member of Congress who plans to skip the Pope's address. Officials from the Catholic diocese declined to comment on Gosar's decision, but at least one humanist group welcomed the stand and hoped others would follow suit.
Foremost authority on religion, one of the recognized leaders of the world, is coming to one of the greatest stages of the world. His comments aren't going to be directed on religious tolerance and the sanctity of life. I don't need to be lectured by the Pope in regards to science or false science.
To read our full article on Gosar's decision, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org. And you can depend on our Cronkite News Washington Bureau all next week to bring you news on the Pope's visit, as well as talk to Arizonans in town for the historic event. The House voted overwhelmingly in favor of a bill today that would halt the admission process for Iraqi and Syrian refugees, as well as any refugee who has been present in either of those countries since the Syrian civil war erupted in March of 2011. The Arizona delegation voted 6-3 in favor of the bill, with yes votes from all 5 Republicans and Democratic Representative Kyrsten Sinema.
The bill today gives one more level of assurance to the American public and to governors and mayors around the country.
Assurances that the refugees entering the United States are safe, a major concern of many across the country.
It's a good start in looking at national security and making sure that the refugees that we're bringing in this country are safe, reliable, and want to be part of the American way of life.
47 Democrats crossed party lines to support the Republican-led bill, and Sinema hopes that President Barack Obama will reconsider his promised veto if the bill arrives on his desk.
I urge the administration, along with many others, to embrace this modest change of certification.
The president has come under fire recently from Republicans for what critics say is a weak policy toward ISIS.
Now we're seeing the results of that gutless, tragic, cowardly policy. And unfortunately, it's the innocent that are having to pay for it.
Democrats say the bill represents a departure from American values, however, with Representative Ann Kirkpatrick saying in a statement, "America must always hold its lamp high as a beacon of hope and opportunity. We must not succumb to fear or paranoia, and we must welcome these huddled masses yearning to breathe free. This is who we are." In addition to screening by the Department of Homeland Security, potential refugees must now be approved by the FBI and the Director of National Intelligence. When World War II came to an end in the Pacific Theater 7 years ago, Arizonan Bill Schrader was there. He was also on hand today at the World War II Memorial to commemorate UJ Day.
Well, to me, it's a great honor to be here. It's important because I got to come home at that time.
Not everyone did get to come home.
And you're looking right across at the gold stars, which represent 405,000 Americans who were killed in World War II.
4 generations of Schrader's family came to support their World War II vet.
When you look at that and you say, how much does each one of those generations know about the impact that World War II had on this nation? And just reminders of what an incredible place we live in, the United States of America, an amazing country.
Many veterans were also given the chance to lay wreaths at the memorial, an honor for which Bill Schrader was chosen.
I guess it's because of my last mission.
A day he remembers well, even 70 years later.
70 years ago, I flew my 8th mission from the Philippines to China and back on August 25th, which was last week.
His mission?
That was to see if Japanese were flying white flags.
People from around the world came to remember the day that ended the bloodiest conflict in human history. After a lot of uncertainty, the World War II Memorial was finally opened in 2004. There's a pillar that commemorates those who fought from all 50 states and American territories. Reporting at the National Mall in Washington, reporting in Washington, reporting at the Capitol, live in Washington, reporting live in Washington, Charles McConnell, Cronkite News.